G'day cocktail lovers, I hope you've been keeping well. Hope you're ready for another cocktail. As I was perusing various websites that have very interesting cocktails on them, I'm always looking for inspiration. Thinking, what will I do? Will I do something that's on this day or just something that's grabbed my attention? And this one just grabbed my attention. I was just basically scanning through websites and I saw a recipe for a cocktail called the Forbidden Sour. And I thought, oh, forbidden you say? Well, I'm going to have the Forbidden Sour. Also because the sour is one of my favorite styles of cocktail, particularly the whiskey sour, which is what this is based on. This is a pretty simple riff on the whiskey sour, and I always say when you find a recipe that you like, you should always feel free to improvise and riff on it. So this is basically a whiskey sour with a fruit liqueur thrown in, and you could use whatever you want. But I'm also improvising off the one I saw because I don't have the specific liqueur they mentioned. But that's the way it should be. You should take things, you should experiment. So let's go now with a Forbidden Sour. The recipe calls for 2 ounces of bourbon, and I've been using a lot of Australian whiskies in my cocktail recently, substituting either Scotch or bourbons or rye whiskies for Australian whiskies. But I thought I have a bourbon, I have Knob Creek 100 proof, which is a very nice bourbon. So why not, in this case, actually use a bourbon? So first up, we are doing 2 ounces or 60 mils of bourbon. The recipe also calls for 1 ounce of pomegranate liqueur, which I don't have, and I was surprised to find as I searched more widely. There's a very consistent recipe for a cocktail named the Forbidden Sour, which I'd previously never heard of, and everyone was saying pomegranate liqueur, and there's also sugar syrup in it. So what I'm doing, I don't have pomegranate liqueur, but I do have pomegranate syrup, homemade pomegranate syrup, aka grenadine. So I'm going to use that in place of sugar syrup, and in place of pomegranate liqueur, I'm going to use this passion fruit liqueur I have. Ooh, first time using this bottle. I'm going to crack the seal, and we're going to do 1 ounce of our fruit liqueur. Given that it's a sour, you wouldn't be surprised there's some lemon juice going in. So I'm going to squeeze some fresh lemon juice in. Now, the recipes I saw ranged from about 3/4 of an ounce to even 1 ounce of lemon juice. I actually prefer it with slightly less lemon juice, but you do it to your taste. Let's sort of cut it in the middle. I'll often only do 1/2 ounce of lemon juice, but a more common measurement is 3/4 of an ounce of lemon juice. You do it to your taste, but right now I'm going to squeeze some fresh lemon juice into our Forbidden Sour. The final touch is our sweetener. Most of the recipes said 1/2 ounce of sugar syrup. As I said, because I don't have pomegranate liqueur, I'm actually using pomegranate syrup, aka grenadine. It's very easy to make on your own. Just use some 100% pomegranate juice, or actually juice a pomegranate yourself, and make it 50% pomegranate juice, 50% sugar. You can warm it up a little on the stove to make it easier to dissolve the sugar if you like. But basically 50% pomegranate juice, 50% sugar. You've got homemade grenadine, which is way better than any store-bought grenadine. So we're just going to put 1/2 ounce, 15 mils of pomegranate syrup in. We add ice to our mixing glass, put it together, bang it in hard, and shake it for about 10 seconds. Now I'm going to strain this into a rocks glass with a big chunk of ice in there. A little bit more. I have, look, you can see, I have used too big a thing of ice in my glass. That's okay, I'll put a bit more in. I'll just have a bit more to drink later. But you can see, with my clear ice, although that's less than perfect, you might be able to see the bubbles at the bottom that I should have trimmed off. But anyway, here is our Forbidden Sour, which actually has a really nice colour that comes from the pomegranate mainly. But given that a whiskey sour is one of my favourite drinks, I'm keen to see what this one is like. Well, it's essentially, it's a fruity whiskey sour. Exactly what you would expect, really, from this. It's a bit more tart than an average whiskey sour is. It is a different colour to an average whiskey sour as well. But I like a bit of variation. Like I said, the whiskey sour is right up there with my favourite cocktails. It's just such an easy, simple classic to make. Obviously, if you're making this and you wanted a nice foamy top like an average whiskey sour, you could include a foaming agent, whether that was egg white or aquafaba, or you can buy some commercial products. I have one called Wonder Foam. You put a couple drops in and shake and it gives you a nice foamy head. This one, if you make it with pomegranate, you just get a very nice red drink. As I said, it's a bit more tart than an average whiskey sour. I think it makes a very nice summer drink. It is the middle of summer for me, so it is very timely. So yeah, some whiskey drinks are very favoured in the colder months. But this one, if you like your whiskey and you want something that's a bit more summery and hot weather, a fruit liqueur as a little twist on the whiskey sour. They say it's forbidden, but they can't stop us, is what I'm saying. So be interested in what your favourite whiskey... I'd be interested if you can put sentences together, because that's something I regularly have problems with. I would be interested if you have a riff on a whiskey sour that you particularly like, because that's, for me, one of the great elements of mixing drinks. Finding a classic and then doing little tweaks to make it just that little bit different, to make it your own. This one was a brand new one on me, a whiskey sour with the addition of a fruit liqueur. I think it's quite good, and I think there's a lot of scope for trying it with other liqueurs as well. But I'm going to leave you now, finish my forbidden sour. Hopefully no one's called the police on me, because it's forbidden, apparently. I hope you enjoyed that. And hey, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, it would be great if you did subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you know when I upload a new video. Do 2 or 3 new videos a week. So I'm looking forward to sharing this cocktail journey with you in the future. Hope you look after yourself, look after the people around you. Take care. See you again soon, hopefully. But for now, cheers.